DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Hey, I hope you're well. It is Thursday, and yeah, for us, it's usually shopping day, so grocery shopping day. Yeah, you've heard it all over the world, eh? Food has become more expensive and so on. And I notice it every time when I go to the store on Thursday. We go usually to Aldi's, and we get probably, I was going to say, 95+% of what we need there. But every now and then it's a discounter, so every now and then there's something that they do not have. And then you go to one of the normal stores. And it's always interesting because when you go to I call it a normal store, I mean not the hard discounters as they call them over here. And when you go there, sometimes you see things and they have it on special, and over at Aldi it's the normal price, and the Aldi one is still cheaper, uh, than the sale price, whatever. What was today? There was corn. So maybe it's something that if you live in North America, you don't realize it because you probably buy corn on the cob at a dozen at a time or something like that. And in Canada, at least in the part of Canada where my parents live and where I was brought up, well, my mom still lives. I was brought up, we'd often have corn that would be baker's dozens, a 13, and it would cost like nothing. Well, over here, you pay like for a couple of ears of corn, probably close to what you pay for a dozen, or it used to be. Anyway, having said that, corn over here right now, it's from Spain, and it's sold like two ears of corn at a time in a package. And it was, like I say, it was exactly the question, the example I was saying is I went to the real store and compared it with Aldi's, and they were having it, like such a percentage on special, and the Aldi one was still cheaper anyway. So whatever, and it's both corn from Spain and same quality, probably the same place. Whatever, it's interesting. But but there was one thing I was looking for was condensed, non-sweetened condensed milk, and there's only about like one supermarket chain that has that. You get the sweetened type all over, but the non-sweetened is actually rather complicated to find because I was going to do a recipe and I needed it anyway, and I had to go to that other store. Yeah, anyway, I mean, I'm certain that really interests most of you to know things like that. But, there are so many different things when you move to a different country, or like, and as our case, we emigrated. And I mean, we are Swiss, but there are things that stay from your previous place of living or previous country that you really like and are almost impossible to find. When we moved here and decided to stay here, there was only one store, one chain that would sell peanut butter, and it was chunky, and it was not creamy in any way like the North American styles. Now you can get peanut butter no problem in, I'm just going to say, everywhere now. But it used to be that if you really wanted North American style peanut butter, there were specialty shops that they imported them, or they filled their suitcase with it and brought it over. Baking powder, they had little I was going to say little bags, and that was just a small quantity, like a couple tablespoons. They didn't have like like we would buy Magic baking powder, I think it was called, or something like that, and it was like it was a can or something. But you couldn't get that here. Even that's still complicated to get. I go to either I get it from home in Canada when I go over, or when I do get some. I've bought some from an American shop or an Asian shop. For some reason, the Asian shops have it. Maple syrup. It used to be that maple syrup was very difficult to get. You can actually get it everywhere now, but it's a lot more expensive. But you can get it in 250 milliliter bottles just about everywhere. But like I say, it's really much more expensive. The quality is good though. But it was just basically impossible to find that. Or if you did, it would cost so much that it would be impossible. So yeah, we would always bring, whenever we would go to Canada, or if Canadian people would come over to our place, that was one of the things that we'd say, put some maple syrup in your luggage. I mean, we still have some in the freezer. We freeze it, and we still have actually quite a bit in the freezer. But it's nice to know that that you can get it. But we've kind of weaned ourselves off of it. We just keep it for pancakes and very, 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 very special recipes. And actually, the other day I had a recipe where I was making what was it exactly? It was a mixture. I was making a marinade for a barbecue, and there was a mixture of whiskey. So I didn't put my most expensive whiskey, but I put some whiskey, and I bought one of those little bottles of maple syrup, and it was kind of a mixture of that, and it was really, really good. Yeah. And it was lamb. Yeah, strangely enough, yeah, it was lamb. It was lamb. Yeah, I'm certain about that now. Yeah. Yes, I mean, things like that. And there's things, nevertheless, that when we often think of Switzerland, excuse me, I've still got a cough. I don't know if it's there's still a lot of pollens around, but we'll see. And what was it I was going to say is that Switzerland is very expensive. We all know that, especially if you live here. And if you're retired, it's like, oh my goodness, am I going to get to old age and still have anything left? It's healthcare costs an enormous percentage of your revenue, and you pay the same price as a retired person as you do as a working person. It doesn't change. So, and of course your revenue is way down. People always are complaining, about, what their cost of living is and stuff like that. But over here, I mean, it is real. It is real. So yeah, but I was going to say about one thing that's really, really a lot cheaper over in Switzerland. And I guess if you want to be an alcoholic, you should come over here. The price of beer, the price of wine, and alcohol in general is really a lot cheaper than if you're in Canada or even in the States. I think it's just a lot less taxes. But you can't just live off of beer. Well, you probably could, but I don't know how long. But anyway, just having said that, that is one thing. That is one of the things I think that's way cheaper. And I laugh because that's when I go over to North America, I often wonder, like, my goodness, how do they survive? Yeah, it's amusing. That is one of the things, yeah. And I noticed that actually when I go over to Ireland, taking a beer or a pint in a pub is not cheaper than over here. It's in some places it's actually even more expensive. So yeah, that's one of the things about Switzerland is cheaper. I didn't know I was going to talk about this when I just started. I just turned it on and just started talking, and that's what came out. Yeah. So anyway, like I say, we were doing our shopping, and this discussion came over because I was chatting with my mom, and she lives alone, but she does all her own cooking still. I mean, she's 80. She's 88, and she's going to be 89 in Christmas. And she still does all her own cooking and everything, and so she buys all the ingredients and stuff. But she was telling me like how much she would pay every week, and I thought like, wow, that seemed to me more, or even at least as much as we do. When and we have the family over once a week or something like that, and I thought like, wow, I get the impression that the prices for food in Canada had gone really up a lot. Well, yeah, one thing though that you don't find here as much, I see the time passing, so I'm gonna have to hurry, is large portions. It's like if you want to buy a big cut of meat, like for the barbecue, you have to go like to almost a specialty stores or a butcher's or something, because you will not find, cuts with many kilos or stuff like that. So it's that is a pain at a time, yeah. Okay, I see I'm up to 10 minutes. I'm gonna stop here. Anyway, tell me about it. How do you find? No, everybody finds prices have gone up, but you know, how do you feel about it in your part of the world? Like, what is cheap, what's expensive, and so on. Okay, that'll be it. DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and chat to you another time. Bye-bye.